Welcome back, students of Night School Horror. As shadows lengthen in the second semester, prepare for a chilling curriculum. Unearth the unknown as we delve deeper into the abyss. This semester, we elevate the darkness where nightmares become lessons. Class is now in session. May you all survive this semester. In one piece.
Welcome to Night School Horror, everyone. Everyone, take your seats. Hey, sit your ass down. All right, we're not at the convention anymore. Okay, you have to sit your butts in your seats. That's what I'm talking about. All right, good. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good evening. Let's take attendance. Real quick because we got a lot to go over today. All right, first of all, I am your professor, right? My name is Mr. Malave, aka Matthew Malave, aka the longest reigning, defending Who You Got champion. It is exactly, say it with me, like 615 days as your champion. That's right, and counting. So that's gonna stay on the board. And we're just going to keep erasing the days and then putting it back on because nothing's changing anytime soon. I'm telling you that much. But all right, let's go down this attendance sheet. And we have the smooth effect. That's all it says. Tommy, stop being an asshole and write your full name next time. How are you?
Hello there, Mr. Malave. I thought today would be different, so I didn't want to write my full name. I wanted to see if you paid attention to the students that actually show up to class.
I always do. All right. But you don't have to be the class clown. All right. You don't have to just write the smooth effect. All right. And expect me to know. All right.
Yeah, but you knew though.
Places in this. Yeah, I did. But any other places in this world. All right. We're going to school to learn about world. Like to how to interact and live in this society and in this world.
Not in this class.
And in the world, if you do that shit, no one's gonna know you. All right.
Good. They don't need to know me, but they do know me as the movie guy. Bang bang. Tommy James, they came so smooth. AKA the smooth effect himself. Oh, very excited. We just got back from MegaCon last week. Very big success, I will say. 2 panels, fucking awesome. A lot of great time. Yeah. So Mr. Malave was here. Took a flight, came down. That was fun.
That's right. I was in Florida. The champ was in Florida. The belt was in Florida. And I got to talk to all you fine people at MegaCon. It was fantastic. So welcome all the new enrollees. Thank you for participating in the panel. It was fun. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. And one of you guys made me chug a beer. And as you know, I'm not to be fucked with in that regards either. So, but it was fun. I loved MegaCon, and I can't wait to go back to Florida. It was definitely a short time, but a great time. So next time I'll be there for longer. Maybe spooky. I don't know. We have enough time.
Plenty of time.
All right, we'll go down the list. All right, because we have. It says Florida's favorite creep. God damn it. Just put your right names. Sabrina, hello.
Hi. I didn't want to write my full name. You know why?
Why?
I'm too tired.
Yeah.
Things aren't real.
I feel you. I just woke up like a few minutes ago. So there you go.
Not bad.
Yeah, same. Taking a nap during the day is not advisable. But you know what? It's fine. I'm here. I showed up. And fuck you. You knew who I was anyway.
Yeah. Well, half the battle is showing up. That's all I always say.
The other half is guns.
The other half is guns. Yep. The other half is guns. All right, guys. Well, listen, it was great. It was great actually hanging out with you, Sabrina.
It was such a fun time. Like having the 3 of us in a room, I feel like it was a different feel just to have all 3 of us in the same room in each other's presence. And it really gauges, exactly where we want to take this as far as just getting more people to enroll with us, or even just getting you back down here for another con. Because again, and I know you mentioned spooky, maybe spooky, hopefully spooky, but we'll see. But it's definitely an exciting time, and it was so nice to finally actually see you and be able to be like, yeah, that guy, he's a dope guy. The champ is here.
Guy. Boom. I love that. Thank you, Sabrina. It was great. It was great seeing you in person. As everyone doesn't know, we record via Zoom. Obviously, I'm in New York City, and these two guys are in I was gonna say Staten Island. It's damn near
Ooh.
farther than Staten Island. Okay, it's
Ouch.
Florida. And yeah,
The southern Staten Island.
the deep south.
The deep south.
The deep south.
The deep south.
The deep south. But yeah, so I haven't actually physically met Sabrina until MegaCon. So it was a times of first and definitely not last. So let's just get into it, guys. We today are gonna be talking about some movies that we can make better. All right. Yeah, we've seen a few movies and we're just like, we've always sat down and just be like, hey, I could do this better. I could make this a way better movie. All right. And today we're gonna make at least 3 movies way better, in our opinions, obviously, but seriously, better. Yeah, I'm gonna get right into it. All right. I picked actually Scream 6. We had a little conversation while we were in MegaCon browsing around. And I was just saying, I'm from New York, right? Tommy, you're from New York.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We every time someone goes, all right, this is a movie, it's going to be based in New York, there's certain things you have to do to actually make it work for you, right? So this movie always like played on being, all right, Ghostface is going to New York, no longer Woodsboro, like shit's about to be different, how is it going to happen? What is he going to do with all the fast pacedness in New York City? But then I got to tell you, I saw the movie. And the most New York scene was the train. And that's it. And it's not the first movie to actually do this thing and get it wrong. We have Jason Takes Manhattan, where most of the movie took place on a boat.
And it was filmed in Toronto.
And it was filmed in Toronto, yes. Mm-hmm. But at least we got some kind of monuments or something in the background from that Jason's walking in Times Square and shit. Like, at least we got that. You know what I mean? In Scream, we didn't get any of that. They wanted to say, okay, well, they're in college, they're dorming in apartments. In my opinion, I think it was Lower East Side or the lower part of Manhattan. That's usually like NYU.
Yes.
NYU-ish, and that's what happens, right? They rent out apartments, they sublet apartments for these students. All right. But even right off the bat, the first kill was it like they snuck her into like a little alleyway and then they like murked her right there. And you're just like, I don't know when was the last time you've been to New York City, but I don't think there's any alleyways like that in New York City anymore, right? Maybe in the late 70s, 80s, sure. Now, no, there's no way, right? So bullshit number 1. Then number 2, right? There's so many other ways there's so many other monuments and famous areas and even silhouettes that you can actually utilize to make it feel like they're in New York City, and they did not, right? There's Empire State Building, there's the New York City skyline from Brooklyn, there's the bridges, there's so many other things that you need to make actually New York City as part of a scene, a part of the setting, and actually like a character. We always say that there are certain times when you put people in a certain setting and that setting plays a factor, right? In this movie, it's supposed to, right? Ghostface should be using a lot of the skyscrapers, a lot of this, a lot of that, nothing. All right. We didn't even get in Gail's, like, I don't even know, penthouse. We didn't even get no outside shots of New York City to make it even look like it was New York City. Yeah. So that grinded the shit out of my gears. Pause. And I just I had to be like, yo, I can make this shit better. I can make this shit way better. So here it is. You guys ready?
I am prepared.
Before you do that, I need to ask, by making it better, would you still be keeping it in New York, or just let the movie be movie and move it to a different city entirely?
No. I'm going to keep it in New York, right?
Okay.
Because as soon as they said boom, boom, and we got Ghostface, I was like, I need to see this shit in New York. And this is what I was expecting. All right. Not what we got, what I expected. All right.
I'm ready.
First scene doesn't happen in damn fucking alleyway, right? That first kill, I say, needs to happen in like a speakeasy, right? So she's on a blind date, right? She's on a blind date. She's waiting for this guy. She's all nervous and this, that, and the third. She gets the call and it's just like, oh, I can't find you, all this stuff. That all stays the same. But it's just like, hey, listen, no, I actually went to this like this is my buddy's place. And in New York City, in case you didn't know, there's a lot of speakeasies, which is like it could be like a front for like a even a store. And then you go to the back and it's like a whole full club, right? Or you go to the back way. It's not an alley, but you go to like the back side or another like hallway, and then boom, it's like a whole speakeasy. So you be like, hey, listen, actually come over here. Like here, I'll send you the location, right? Use modern technology. Sending locations, that's a thing. Send the location, boom. She goes in there, right? She opens the door. It's like, boom. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's like like a costume, because they can put a mask on, like masquerades and shit in these speakeasies. Boom. Everyone has masks. Everyone comes in there. And then she's like, I'm looking for this guy, like whatever. And then kind of like just like keeps getting stabbed. Like she finds somebody with Ghostface and she's like, gets stabbed once and she's screaming, but the music's so loud that like no one's hearing her, and she's just trying to make her way to this crowded speakeasy, and then she winds up just fucking passes out and dies because of all the stabs, and then boom, stab 6. More realistic, utilizing a lot of speakeasies in New York City. Just saying, I'm not gonna go scene for scene. I needed to fix that first scene.
I like that idea, actually. I like the way you're doing that, because that's one thing about New York. Like when you're out and about, especially at going to the club scene and whatnot, it's loud. It's fucking very loud where you can't hear nobody. You're like, why are you talking? They don't understand. So I love that the concept to do that. Like it's kind of taking what happened in Scream 2, like in the movie theater, and just putting her in a club, because New York is known for the nightlife. New York is known for the clubs as well, LA and all this shit, but we're up there as well. I like that concept. I could even throw in there with you to nowadays that the headphones one, where the quiet club or wherever I don't know what they call it. I've never been to it.
It's like the silent
club
nightclub or whatever.
Silent club.
Now imagine adding that to where she's screaming and you can't hear the screams because fucking they have the headphones and the music blasting, everyone's dancing and shit, and you add that to there is another good way to take it. But I like the fact that you're putting it in the clubs.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I love that idea actually a little better, because then you can go back and forth from like hearing the music and seeing her face like in torment, and then shooting from everyone else listening and dancing, and it's empty, but all you hear is her screaming. Like, so you can play on both hearing the screams and not hearing the screams. And I think that would be awesome, because guess what? The movie's called Scream, right? That's how you start it. That's awesome. That's right. I love that.
I love that visual. Addition. I love that visual. Like
they have the little,
even if it's a silent like disco or whatever.
That's what they're called. There you go.
Silent discos. If it's one of those, again, it's the perfect shot of. It's exactly as you guys said, the perfect shot of just her screaming, and everyone's just kind of ignoring because they're not paying attention. They've all got headphones, and then you could cut to each individual person, hear the different types of music that they're all listening to, with the screams in the background, and nobody can hear that.
Yeah, and then you pan out and it's silent because it's a silent disco, and all you hear is her screaming, like insane.
And
I love that.
Get on the floor,
awesome.
Just and then add, then Samara Weaving,
murder on the dance floor.
Yeah, the Samara Weaving was, once you've seen that she was in it, oh, she's getting it, so they're getting Samara Weaving, and it makes a lot of sense. And you can easily do like Miss Malibu, like you said, like the stabbing, like he's coming out of nowhere. There's a lot of people here, okay, and
a lot of people.
I agree. They didn't use New York well enough to understand how crowded it is, except the train. That's why the train scene was good, because you were like, yeah, that's depicting New York correctly. It's fucking crowded.
Yeah, I'm keeping that scene because it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's a good start.
That's the best part of the movie.
I think that's a really good start to that movie.
Yeah, so I feel like that's it. And then she falls on the floor. Everyone takes off their headphones. Boom, Scream 6.
I wouldn't even have them take their headphones off. No one knows what's going on. Maybe she's on drugs or some shit. You don't know, because we don't care. New Yorkers don't really focus on what's going on at that point.
But even to move plot along, you could have somebody like bump into her dead body on the floor, look down, take their headphones off, try to wake her up, and then notice she's dead and stabbed. And that's where it kicks in of like, hey, there's been a murder. Like,
of course, they're going to eventually find what happened.
It'll be a girl, and she'll kick him and look at like, hey, and then Then I don't know what she sees, and then she screams, and then that's where you get the title scene.
Scream.
Right.
Scream, you know, like, and you're like, yes, all right, here we go.
That's good. I
You
like
know?
that.
So we get that, right? And then now I'm just gonna like go bounce around. I also feel like they missed the opportunity, and this might sound a little messed up, but they missed the opportunity for Ghostface to disguise himself like a bum and then jump up at somebody and try to stab him.
Sure.
Like, we're in New York City, people, and you're in the Lower East. You're in the Manhattan. You're in Manhattan. There's so many like homeless people there.
Yes.
They have their own little tents, their own little structures, right? You missed the opportunity for Ghostface to be in one of those, talking to somebody as they're like walking, and then it's just like, well, then show yourself. Don't mind if I do. Boom, and he just pops out, and it's a fucking bum with like a wagon, and he just like, and it's Ghostface. You needed that.
Mhm.
That's
that's
New
some
York.
horror movie. Like that's a haunted house move too. I really like that.
Yeah, you need that. It's New York City, guys. Let's utilize the subtext, all right? Please. You know, and then a lot of the other things that I would change is just again utilizing New York City as the base and like the playground of Ghostface, right? So there wasn't a lot of like yellow cabs either in this movie. And as we all know, New York City is fucking flooded and with yellow cabs, right? You can and we mentioned it earlier, kind of like nostalgia based, like Scream 2 with the movie theater and everything else like that. Like these movies at this point are playing from some nostalgia and some new stuff, right? And I think that they needed a scene where Jenna Ortega and what's her sister's name? I forget. Whatever, the two sisters, they or whoever they're in there, and like the boyfriend or whatever, they're in this cab, they're trying to run away, and he's like, come on, go, and then he's just like, oh, what are you talking about, where are you going? It's like, just we're going to Brooklyn. Oh, I don't go to Brooklyn. And then they want to get you out, right? Because literally that's happened. Like,
Sure.
oh, I'm going to Brooklyn. And they're like, no, we don't go to Brooklyn. I'm not going to Brooklyn. You got to get out. And you're like, are you serious, man? No, someone's chasing us. Can you please just drive? And he's just like, no. And then out of nowhere, Scream comes, the Ghostface comes, murks the cab driver, throws him out, and then locks them in. He's the driver, and he's just taking them on a ride, you know?
Yeah.
Now you got opportunity to have a panned out scenes, and you seeing New York City traffic. You're seeing the FDR. You're seeing, you know, Second Avenue, and you're just like, oh shit, like this is New York City. He's in a yellow cab. They don't even care that he's going fast and dipping in and out of traffic because that's what yellow cabs do. You know what I mean? And then you get like a crazy cameo. Like someone's like holding down a cab, like they trying to like flag down a cab with their hand out, and then out of nowhere the cab just flies by and almost takes the guy's hand out, and it's some cameo, some famous person from New York City. I'm not sure who. Maybe like fucking I don't know, like Jay-Z or something.
If this was a like years ago, it's a perfect Donald Trump cameo appearance. He always shows up in the fucking New York City movies. So like this, and I'm talking this obviously if it was in the 90s. That would be a Trump cameo, and he'd be like,
yeah,
New
for
York
sure.
City.
Maybe now it's like Spike Lee or something. But
Yeah, it would be a good one. Spike Lee would probably be a good one.
Spike Lee, he's like, oh, and then he can like curse, you son of a bitch. Like, the hell? This is New York for you. You know what I mean? And then
it's got to be a representation of New York. And Jay-Z's another good one too. Jay-Z, Spike Lee would make more sense, I guess, because I could see Spike getting in a cab. You could have like an Aaron Judge or something, like, you know.
Right.
But you want that face where people like, oh, nice.
Yeah, like, oh shit, yeah, they actually are in New York City, right? Like, so then boom, we keep going, and like maybe they go over the Brooklyn Bridge or something, and like, you know, they're just like going crazy, and then of course the traffic gets you. Boom, they get into a car accident. Someone flies out. Right, like maybe it's the guy. Instead of him getting murked 17 times by two Ghostface, that was a great scene, by the way. Maybe he flies out, and then like he's like struggling to like crawl, and then Ghostface just kind of comes out and like stabs him 3 times or whatever, and then the two sisters are just there. Maybe it's just one. I don't know. Right, and then. Then we'll do the same thing as like Scream 2. And then like how they had the keys, they go down and Ghostface is just playing with them, like just popping open the locks or whatever, but it's on a cab, right? Now you get nostalgia and you get something new in New York City.
Yep.
Right? whatever the case may be, they always tend to like maybe now Ghostface gets fucking hit by a cab or like another car because you can't be playing around in the streets in New York City. You can't. You just can't. You know, and then that's how they get away. But now they're in Brooklyn, right? Now they're in Brooklyn. Now you can just clue in the last scene in the warehouse because guess what? In Dumbo, there's a lot of warehouses that they're just turning into different things, right? That could be one of Ghostface. That could be Ghostface little museum shit, right? You go in there, right? You have everything that happens. We get the reveals, the talks, everything else in that warehouse. But now you're just in Brooklyn. Right now, I've utilized all of New York City or whatever. Now it's just you went over that bridge. That's how they got to Brooklyn. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, when they're all walking out, you know, those famous scenes where they're all just talking, they're all hurt. They shouldn't be walking because they got stabbed so many different fucking times. But they're walking, they're talking, they're not even losing blood. And now it's like sun's coming up, and you see the water, that's the Hudson River. You see you get a beautiful skyline from Dumbo in Brooklyn from New York City. And you get the bridges and you hear all the noise and you're just like, they're walking out, you see all Brooklyn or whatever, and they're like, fucking New York. You know what I mean? Or some shit like that. And then you just see mad people coming in there and you get the whole thing, you pan out and it's in Brooklyn Bridge Park. You get Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, you get the whole New York skyline, and then boom, scene, movie. Utilize New York City, people.
Yeah, I think that's
all we
issue.
wanted.
That's the biggest issue with that movie is they didn't utilize New York the way they should utilize New York. I mean, let's be real for a second. I would love to see Ghostface wearing a Knicks jersey or a Rangers jersey.
Right? Maybe they go into
to a
Madison
game.
Square Garden.
They go to a game.
Yeah, they go to a game.
You can make it because the way it was filmed. You know, you could make it a Knicks playoff game, Rangers playoff game. They both were in the playoffs, and you know how the Garden's rocking, and especially for the Knicks.
Rockin'.
I'd say we go with the Knicks on this one. And I just like, you know, they're there, they're at the tickets and whatnot, and they're sitting there, and then they just look over, and there's Ghostface looking right back, but he's wearing a Knicks jersey. He's got to wear a Knicks jersey.
He got to wear a Knicks jersey.
Because that's what makes it funny. That's a good, funny scene right there, where it's like, it's Ghostface in a Patrick Ewing jersey. That's fucking hilarious.
Thank you.
You know, use that. Use what New York is, what represents New York, the blood, the heart of New York. And one of the biggest hearts of New York is the Knicks.
It's the Garden.
The Garden, the Garden's huge. And they didn't touch that. I know there's permits and shit, but there's fucking ways to do it. If people can end up on a different planet, that's what I'm saying. If you can end up on a different planet, you can end up in Madison Square Garden.
All you really need is to, like, in the sets, build like the stadium seating for like 3 or 4 rows to film, and then that's it. Put them in the green screen and just show clips of a Knicks game. Like
the Ninja Turtles did it,
and then pan it to them. Like, come on.
Yeah, they did it in the fucking Ninja Turtles. You can't do it in Scream.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Also, I feel like they missed the mark, and I know we had like the ladder from one building to the other. Like, I call bullshit on that too, right? Because there's probably guards and shit in New York City that's legal that you have to put guards on your fucking window. Anyway, I'm going too deep into that. They missed the mark to throw somebody off of a damn skyscraper.
I would like to see that.
You go to One Rockefeller Plaza or whatever. You take that elevator all the way up. They're getting chased, doing whatever. You can see all of that. The only thing that's stopping anyone from jumping is like glass windows, right outside. You don't try and tell me that Ghostface is not going to throw somebody through the glass window down to the fucking floor.
Honestly, I feel with that it's a touchy subject mainly because of 9/11. So they may not want people being tossed off a skyscraper.
Right. No, I feel you on that.
So like that's that I could see being reason, like out a window. See, even like you could do out a window like in an apartment building, but I feel like a skyscraper, a lot of people start being like, oh,
like, come on, guys.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I understand that, but you don't understand how that would be.
It would make sense. Yeah, it would work because so you got to utilize skyscrapers and utilize One Rockefeller fucking Plaza and all this shit, and they didn't do it. They didn't go to the tree.
They didn't go to the tree. I don't know if it wasn't. Was it Christmas? I don't think it was Christmas.
I think it might have been Halloween. But still, you didn't go to the ice rink.
Yeah,
you didn't go to the ice rink.
Halloween party.
Go to the ice rink.
That's true. Go to the ice rink. Well, the ice rink is not there until like November. But still, go to Rockefeller Center.
Go to Rockefeller Center.
Right? Like, go to Times Square. They didn't go to Times Square.
They did not go to Times Square.
You trying to
Do
tell
you know
me
how
that they,
cool it would be to have like Ghostface walking around with the characters dressed up in Times Square?
that'd be sick, and then throw them off the stairs? That those
Yeah.
red stairs.
And somebody's dressed
them right
as
down.
Ghostface. There's somebody
Right.
dressed as Ghost. Hey, this is my corner. I got a
Yeah.
permit. Stab.
Yeah, that'd be great. Hey, what are you doing here? This is my corner. Yeah, sing, sing, sing. Now it's my corner, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, they needed to do shit like that. Like, I don't understand, because it could have happened. They were at a Knicks game. He's tormenting them. They leave. They're running, and it's not a far walk to Times Square.
No.
So they're running. They're going uptown, and then boom, they're on 42nd Street, and now you get Ghostface in Times Square. Come on, people.
Yeah, it's
Come
only
on.
10 blocks. That's it. Because the garden's on 32nd. So yeah, it's only a 10 block. And then you're running,
on, guys.
and they're short blocks and not long blocks. So yeah, you
Right.
need to
They're
definitely get
very
there.
short.
No, I like that. That's really good.
Thank you. I've been thinking about this, and I had to exercise the demon, and this is why we do it on Night School Horror.
Yeah,
That's how you make Scream Takes New York better. Okay.
that's a good one. I like that.
It's solid.
Yeah,
Anybody else want to add?
It's like a
anything to
little. It's like you gave it a little love letter to New York via Scream versus what they gave us.
that? Isn't that what they wanted to do anyway?
It's what-
Like, if they're gonna put,
It's not what they did. If it's what they wanted.
yeah. No, it's what they did in Home Alone 2. You know, they
Yep.
utilized
Yeah.
New York. I mean, Central Park. They didn't utilize Central Park.
Oh my God, get lost in Central Park. You know how
They didn't use
big it
Central
is.
Park.
Lost in Central Park at night,
One of the-
specifically.
One of the
Yes.
killers was a cop.
Yes.
He was an NYPD officer. Let's be real for a second. That man knows New York, so he
Yep.
should be able to know what we're doing. Like, you should see both sides of it, their side and then the Ghostface side, where they know New York City, where it's like, we're going to use our environment to fuck with these fuckheads. And they just didn't do it. They kept it simple. Put him in a building, put him in school, put him in an apartment. Come on. Come on.
Stop it. Right.
Use New York. You have
You're trying
New
to tell
York.
me the great silhouette of them underneath one of those bridges in Central Park and someone getting stabbed is not great? Like, come on. Then you
It's
hear
perfect
saxophonists because there's music players playing in Central Park all the time.
Yep.
You hear saxophone and it's just masking the screaming of him getting stabbed. Like, come on.
There are plenty of, and I feel because it's in New York, you have to, like we said, we're playing with New York, but New York also has fun things happening. You know, like Impractical Jokers is constantly filmed in New York City, usually on
Right.
by Central Park, Union Square most of the time. I'd love to see them running from Ghostface and run into fucking one of the guys from Impractical Jokers as they're filming, because we know that's where they film. And you just laugh, and you're like, you know, you can have Q or something. Just look over it. Like,
It's the option for
And
so
then-
many
and then
cameos.
And have Ghostface kill him. Like,
Sure,
that's
give
how
me a
you
stab.
increase the. Come on, you're trying to tell me in New York City, there's so many people here. They're gonna get in the way. Kill them all.
That's what
That's
it
how
is.
you increase the body count. That's how you make a good sequel.
They shouldn't be running
Anyone that
like
gets
that.
in your way, stab them.
There's not a lot of they're running too easily. It's very difficult to run in New York when, depending on especially the time, we didn't get the, you know, the rush, the you got the fucking train, but the rush hour of like walking the streets and having somebody walking behind you, following you, and you can't go nowhere because there's mad people, and New Yorkers aren't going to move for you. No, you walk at our pace.
I'm walking in.
You walk at our pace, and that's how it works. And we're coming this way, you're going this way. You're on the wrong side. People, get the fuck out of here. Like, no one actually was like, what the fuck are you doing? Plus,
Right.
You're not going to be walking around New York City just stabbing random people. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out for you, because if we do see shit going down like that, we're probably going to do something, especially in a fucking horde of people.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
if we see, most of the time we mind our business. But if I'm walking and I see somebody's pushing people trying to say, nah, dude, it's not going to work. Somebody's fucking grabbing you and being like, what the fuck are you doing?
yeah.
There's no panic. You know, New York doesn't panic. That's one of the big thing about New Yorkers is we're not known as, we don't panic. We stand up and we fight back. We needed to see the city, the people fight as well. And they just,
absolutely.
That's what I mean. You don't have the heart of New York in this movie. You might as well have put it in fucking Boston.
Yeah,
You can put it literally
You
anywhere.
put it in Seattle.
and
You're
it's
gonna put it
the
in
same
fucking
movie.
Seattle. Would have
Same
been the
movie.
same fucking movie. Put it in Seattle.
Yep.
Been fine.
Yep, it's true. It is true, but this is why we could have made a better Scream 6.
Yeah.
Scream Takes Manhattan.
Okay.
And we did. We have all the elements here to make it a better fucking movie.
Yeah, I agree.
We're going to stop talking about Scream because we can keep going, because I just came up with like 3 other things. One involves like a damn horse in a carriage.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good too.
Oh my God.
The horse and carriage in Central Park.
And yep. But I'm not going to do it. We're going to move away from it. All right. And I'm going to bounce to actually the Smooth Effect. I'm going to bounce to you. What is a movie that you can make better?
All right, so when you came up with this question, and I'm like, fuck, all right. There's plenty of movies out there I've seen. I'm like, I can totally make this movie better. So I wanted to give myself a challenge, all right? I love giving myself a challenge, and I picked Anaconda. Now, as we know, Anaconda, it's the snake movie. Big, giant fucking snake. Got Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube, Jon Voight, Owen Wilson, Jonathan Hyde is in this movie. Danny Trejo is in this movie as well. This movie has a fucking cast. Now, here's the crazy part. Like I said, I wanted to give myself a challenge. So I watched it last night again. I really like this movie.
Me too.
I sat there and I was like,
It's a good movie.
I like the movie. A lot of people, they hate on it. It's got shit on Rotten Tomatoes and whatnot. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I have a good time with it. It's not meant to be taken serious because it's a giant fucking anaconda. 2 giant anacondas, by the way. And the acting in it, well, Jon Voight's acting in it is so over the top that you just kind of go, you know what? If he acted normal, this movie might not be as great. So I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, how am I going to make this movie a little bit better? Because I say a little bit better. I can't say a lot better because I personally don't think there's a lot should be changed. They figured it out. The cast is real. I wouldn't change anybody in that cast. Everybody's fine in this movie.
Yeah.
Even Eric Stoltz, and he's barely in the fucking movie. Yeah, you could probably change him out, but I wouldn't. He's barely in it. It's fine. He gets a paycheck. Everything's good. Ice Cube is great in it because he's just playing Ice Cube.
The snake's out there. It is big.
The snake's out there. It is big. Like, damn, he's right though. And that's true. There are snakes out there that big.
Yep.
So I'm trying to go through it. I love the fact that, Jonathan Hyde is like the narrator technically of the documentary, and he's the British guy, which weirdly enough, I thought he died like years ago. Nope, turns out he's still kicking. So I would not change him either. He's fine in this movie. I'm not changing the cast whatsoever. One thing that I will do.
The snake?
Okay, so that's where I'm going to get to. One issue with this movie is the CGI. The CGI does not hold up. It's terrible. But the puppet, because they do use puppets in this, look very good. And I would have stuck
like
to
at
more.
The end.
Yes, the black one, the black red snake. Yep. Yeah, I would have stuck to that one because puppet-wise, it looks fantastic. It looks really good. Mm-hmm. And I would stick to more puppets, better than using the CGI. Unfortunately, there are some scenes you can't really use a puppet with. Like when he jumps out of the waterfall, it's just... No, you can't use a puppet for that.
No, you can't do that.
That's not going to happen. So to go off the bat, as a director and a writer, I would tell Jon Voight, all right, we got to back it down a notch. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I don't think people from Paraguay talk like that. And you sound like Steven Seagal and Christopher Walken together. But by the way, you're amazing. Like, I would tell him that. I would be like, everything you're doing is just godly right now. But if we could just turn it down just a little bit, just slightly, just turn it down. Because if you want to talk about villains and people that are bad people, bad guys, he literally is the spitting image of one. When he gets on that boat, there's nothing good about him. You're not sitting there thinking like, this guy seems like a nice guy. No, look at his face. Like Jon Voight was like, I'm getting a paycheck and I'm going to make it very clear I'm the bad guy.
Yep.
You're like, oh, no, it's fine, John. That's great. And
he's like staring at J-Lo with those hungry eyes.
I know, but but the way he does it to everybody. He gives him that face like he just sniffs something really nasty while sucking on a lemon. Like he's just, That's where I get like that, like Steven
Like he has
Seagal.
beef with everyone.
He hates everybody on the boat, including the fucking Mateo, who's his partner. He's like, I hate all of these fucking people. They picked me up, and it was obviously all a plan.
Yeah, he was like, Mateo's gone. We're gonna keep going.
Oh, it's just the way that's why it makes him such a fucking villain in it too, because he's just like, I believe it is this snake has eaten our dear captain. Okay, let's go. And you're just like, hey, dude, isn't that like? Well, we find out obviously they don't know, but we find out that they're like partners and whatnot. But he doesn't care. He's like, nope, fuck it, we're moving on. So I feel like the John Voight character, I turned the dial down just very slightly though, because he needs to still be over the top and fucking insane in this movie. Now, the one other thing when it comes to this film, I would try to do more Jaws of like the movie, less snake. I feel like once we see the snake, we just keep seeing the snake. You know, we make it very clear that it is a very big snake. It's an anaconda. When you think anacondas, they are huge snakes. We get to. I like the fact that he shows the skin when he does that, and Ice Cube says that line. Like,
the snake got that is big.
That's a good line. That's a perfect line. And then you have fucking J-Lo, like, she's just like, snakes don't kill people. Well, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember looking and I go, all right, couple things. Number one, I don't think you're not dead, so that didn't really work. They didn't really go with the line. And number two, it's a scar. There's just a scar on you, and like, anacondas don't have fangs. What happened?
Like that he just like
wait, his tongue.
I'm just going a little bite you. I'm a bite you.
Well, he can't bite them because they don't have fangs. Anacondas don't have fangs.
I don't know.
What did he do? He squeezed him. He gave him a little squeezy, and like he got a little cut on his arm. Like they didn't really explain. That was stupid. So that answer, like I would have loved Ice Cube going, what the fuck's that supposed to mean? You got a cut on your fucking arm, on your fucking face?
That would have been perfect.
What the fuck's that mean? So I look at it, maybe less snake until it's time to show the snake. And I feel the best opportunity to show that snake was Owen Wilson's death.
Oh,
that's when you show the snake, because that's when it's just like Jaws. You know it's a big shark. They made it very clear. This is a big shark. We don't really get to see it. You get the POV of it. That was fine. Like in the movie, they stick with the POV of the snake. That's great. Perfectly fine with that. But it's at that moment when that fucking thing grabs him by the shoulder and fucking does the spin with him. You're like, oh, that's a big fucking snake.
Yeah,
like that thing's huge. So
and then afterwards, where we see him in the water,
yes,
and
you see like
his
body
still in the snake.
Fantastic. That's a great. I love that scene. I think that was a great job. That's a good use of CGI right there.
Yep,
good use of CGI in that one. And I feel like with this film, you really need to get to that Jaws mentality of being like, let's not show it too quick. Like in the beginning when Danny Trejo is getting chased. You don't see this thing. You just get the POV, you get the fucking camera turning, and he sees it, and then he shoots himself in the head. That's fine. That's a good start.
That was good.
But then we start to see, then the snake starts coming more. We see it go after the panther. We watch it kill Mateo. We start to see all the... No. I would have preferred to wait until Owen Wilson's death to then actually see the fucking size of that thing. And here's the best part. That's not even the main one.
No, that was the baby.
Yeah, that was the baby snake. And then the other part, you know, when they're actually trying to catch it and then it gets caught on the fucking trap and it's going, which is also hilarious because I didn't know snakes actually, you know, growl.
They roar and they growl.
Like this and just going back and forth. You can see at that moment, they're like, wow, that's a big fucking snake. He showed you the skin.
Yeah.
You know it's a big fucking snake. But we don't know how big, because that was like a lot of skin. So that moment that it grabbed Owen Wilson would have really, because that's when they see it wrap around him. Yeah. So that's when you go, oh shit, that's a big fucking snake.
Yeah. Like
we're in some fucking trouble right now.
Yep. Yeah, we got a small ass boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you can make, Ice Cube can make the joke. You can, or Jonathan Hyde could make the joke of something like, I think we don't have a big boat. We don't have a big enough boat. And then John Voight could be like, we're not getting a bigger boat. And you're like, I get it. It's funny. Use the jokes there.
You can do that. Present. Like it's not like it's called recycling. It's not even called biting. It's
and you're
like
showing respect. You're showing you know that you're
paying homage.
That's what it is, because Jaws was taken serious. It was it was meant to be taken serious, comes from a book and whatnot. But this movie is not meant to be taken serious. So you're allowed to go and push those limits where Jaws existed in that world where Ice Cube made a fucking comment on his own song and then was listening to the fucking West Side Connection. So he's in the world of Ice Cube does exist. So you could play that a little bit up. I feel that the environment, like Mr. Malava, he was saying that, utilize New York. They utilize the jungle very well in this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wouldn't change that either. Like, you guys figured it out. You kept him in the jungle. I like that. Now, I will go back to Eric Stoltz right now. I feel that once Mateo dies, it's just a line of death. Like, they were like, okay, so we killed the guy, and now we're just going to start killing everybody. Everybody's going to die. And they tried to set up a movie. They killed somebody, and then they just took this nosedive of death and just started literally killing everybody on the boat.
It's true.
I feel that because, like I said, I'm going to go back to the Jaws situation of keeping the snake more hidden. It would have been more scary. It could have been more smart because snakes are actually pretty fucking intelligent and they're really good hunters. So I would be more interested of one of the main kills before we get to fucking Owen Wilson's death would be Eric Stoltz dying. They should have killed Eric Stoltz. And I say this because he had a fucking rough situation. John Voight just being a bad asshole, putting the fucking wasp in his shit.
Yo,
that shit's fucking, when he opens his mouth and the fucking wasp comes out and he grabs it and he's just like, it's a wasp.
Poisonous.
You're like, oh shit. And he still tried to help him. He did it. And he's like, all right, Jordan.
Fucking with the little tracheotomy. Oh my God.
Yeah. You get to see him. You just don't get to see the full stab, but you see him go for it and then he stabs the pen in there. So I feel that it would have been great to have him in bed and then, again, we don't see the snake, so we don't know how big the snake is at this point. And then out of nowhere, you see him he's pretty much unconscious, and then he just gets dragged. Like, oh shit, what the fuck was that? Now we know as the audience what the fuck that is, but again, we haven't seen the snake. We don't know how big the fucking snake is.
Yeah.
So even before, like I said, the Owen Wilson, when you finally get to see the snake, could do it this route too, of where, because they mentioned that it regurgitates its food to save it for later. So maybe before the snake kills Owen Wilson, it regurgitates Eric Stoltz's character, which now everybody's like, holy shit. You get to see that the stomach acid like deforming him and whatnot. And then he goes right over. The thing fucking spins right over and grabs Owen Wilson. And then you get to see the full impact of the snake. The wraparound, the squeezing, the breaking, the sounds of the bones, which I love that part. So you're
saying, so you're saying that like instead of having it at the end when he regurgitates him, like do it earlier so that way we can see like, oh, this means business.
Yes, easily.
I like that.
Because
but then also utilize the suspense of the snake in the beginning by not showing it in its natural habitat, just showing its sheer size and mass in the first kill.
Yes, it gives plenty of opportunity, and you get all that you need from this moment. John Voight is explaining the situation. It holds you tight, just like your true love.
Yeah, closer than your true love.
Yeah, closer than your true love. And he's like, and then you get the opportunity to hear your bones break right before your veins pop in your head, and you're like, so he's making a very, very serious and somewhat scary fucking situation right now.
Yeah.
So now utilize this opportunity to show he mentions the regurgitation, all this other shit, pulling Eric Stoltz. You don't see it doing it. You just see Eric Stoltz laying there and fucking gets yanked. And then they're all trying to find, oh, where is he? I forgot what his name is in the movie, but they're like looking, J-Lo especially, that's her boyfriend. So she's looking around. Where is he? He's gone. Did he get up? I thought
Dr.
it was on
Steve Kale.
Okay, where's Steve? Or, and then you got, now they're all on the search for the guy. And then comes the situation where, and the fucking bang hits on the boat. There's the snake on a tree. Could be on a fucking tree or just chilling over there. And that's when they see that. They see him. Oh, fuck. Now he's dead. And then Owen Wilson gets it right after. So 2 kills immediately. Knock him out. 1, 2. Bang. Got him. Now we're going to wait until later to get more kills done, because we can't just start killing everybody. And personally, I'm keeping Westridge alive. I like Jonathan Hyde. I think he's really funny in the movie. I don't think there was any reason to kill him. You know, again, he was just a body. Because when they get to that ending, when they actually see the people of the mist, I think it would have been pretty great to actually have Ice Cube pull up the camera. J-Lo's like, all right, let's do it. And then he gets right in front of the camera, all fucked up, blood. Yep. You could get him wrapped around, kind of like what happened to Ice Cube when he gets wrapped around.
Yeah.
Now, I question the bullshit because when he gets wrapped around, he gets squeezed. He got wrapped.
Nothing break?
Twice.
Did nothing break?
Twice he got wrapped around and squeezed. Right. Nothing broke. He was perfectly fine. Okay. So we're breaking some shit. All right, Ice Cube's living too.
A rib, an arm, a leg.
A rib would be perfect. It has to make it a little difficult where he can't just fucking start running like it's just life. Oh, you just keep fucking running. So I'm thinking we definitely have to get him injured. And again, J-Lo still lives. Ice Cube still lives. Eric Stoltz going. He is dying. And I'm keeping Westridge alive. That's the comedy. I want to keep the comedy in there.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping his ass alive as well. And from there, you pretty much kind of stick to the whole concept of the movie. I like the fact that you could still have John Voight catch them both. You know, like, so if you remember in the movie, when Jonathan Hyde jumps out, when he gets caught, the tree falls. The snake lets go of him. He's technically alive.
True. He's and
then we see later that he's not. You know, we get to see the body, but that's the moment where I would have kept him alive. He could be fucked up, broken arm, you know, cracked rib,
bleeding internally.
But he would have been the perfect savior when they get to that next part. When John Voight has them tied up and throws the monkey blood on them and all this other nonsense. He's the perfect savior for that. You're like, yes, Westridge is here, because he was like a jerk face in the beginning. He's the rich snobby guy. So he comes in towards the end to be able to help save it. Plus, he's the only one that can actually drive the boat. Ice Cube only learned for a minute? And he was like, I got this shit. Like, no. It would have made a lot more sense. And that would have been a nice, good threesome to fucking have them towards the end. But
I think that works out.
There's not a lot. That's the thing, though, is not a lot to really go and change. Maybe, you know, like I said, they utilize their environment really well. The cast is really good. They all fit well together. I mean, I would have liked to see a titty or two when she was actually in the jungle.
I agree.
With Owen Wilson.
Where's the titty?
Show me a titty. Like, I would have been perfect.
I mean, J-Lo showed titties before this movie. She's shown titties.
She has shown some titties, and she showed some booty too.
Money Train. Like, she has a whole sex scene with Wesley Snipes. Like,
yes.
And I think it was the same year. So show some more titties.
It was 97.
Maybe she was trying to show her range and get away from it.
Come on.
No,
that's for Selena later.
They were smart. They did use her correctly in this movie. She didn't do too much. She was pretty much just playing J-Lo, just like Ice Cube. Ice Cube played Ice Cube with a camera.
Yeah.
That was it. And it was perfectly acceptable. So I feel like if maybe another thing I would try to change is they're only going there because they want to go see the people of the mist. That's that whole point of the documentary. I feel that's so stupid. Like, that's your idea. No, I think it would have been more interesting if the reason that they were actually going there is to focus on the Amazon itself. Yeah, because there are
conservation of the Amazon.
There are documentaries on the Amazon, so it made more sense for them to go there because you have the tribes that they can be involved. So they could mention the people of the mist. So the ending is still relevant that they ran into this. They could have somewhat knowledge. Like, Eric Stoltz's character should have knowledge on anacondas.
Yeah,
I know he's a tribe guy, but if we made it more where it's more Amazon focused, again, more environment, we can focus a little bit more with the environment.
Yeah, but like if he was a tribe guy, he should also know, because they have like hieroglyphics and shit like that of the snake. Like,
they had the totems. They had the totems.
Yeah, shouldn't he have known that? Like, there's fucking snakes out there this big.
That's my point. Is like he should have better understanding and knowing what they're getting into.
Yeah, he's a bitch.
And then it turns out at the end anyway, he was like, wow, Cerrone was right. So
or
now
even if they don't, if you change the reason why they're there, they may not understand the tribes or the scribes or the totems of the snake. It could just be an instance where it's like, oh, we're there to make a documentary about conservation of the rainforest. That way it needs to be protected.
Sure.
But then there's this huge threat in there that you want to get rid of. So it's like, should you or shouldn't you? Essentially,
that's a good one. I like that.
It creates
That's
a controversy.
Like moral conflict.
Yeah, they go there essentially saying, hey, we're here to preserve this and, raise awareness and get everyone on the same page as us, and leave going, yeah, no, fuck that place.
Yeah.
And you can have Ice Cube
one
be
of
that
them
guy.
have one of them kind of like side with like John Boy and just be like, no, we have to save this fucking thing. Like, no, we have to preserve it. Like,
which would be Owen Wilson.
Yeah, he's like, we're the ones that are like trespassing. Like, he's not,
right.
Like
it's a perfect.
Then dies anyway.
That's
like,
the perfect
right.
Owen Wilson moment, because Owen Wilson was perfect as that like turncoat in a sense where it was about the money.
Yep.
And that's where it should be, like with his mindset, like you were saying, like he's about saving the rainforest and saving the animals and whatnot. But money talks too.
Oh yeah.
And he realizes that, well, if we save it, but we can still capture it. We're not going to kill, like his whole thing could be like, we're not going to kill it. We're not going to actually kill it, but it's $1 million.
People would pay to see it.
People would pay to see it. And $1 million, we can really save the rainforest with that $1 million. Not realizing that, John Voight's going to want a piece of that. You're only going to get a certain amount, but he's an idiot. So that's where it really comes down to. Also, when the snake shows, I really wanted him to say, wow, I was waiting for one of those. I was waiting for, wow. Like, yeah, that's a fucking snake there, buddy.
Snake.
Yeah, that is a snake.
That's a big snake.
That is a big
or an
snake.
ice cube, but that's a big fucking snake. Like, yeah, right. He already made this snake's out there this big. Finally sees the snake. That's a big fucking snake. Like, yes, jokes. Give me some jokes. Snake. They tried to make it too serious. They wanted this movie to be serious. Not a serious movie. You got to put a little more comedy into it.
Yeah,
make the jokes, have fun with the movie. If they would have had fun with this movie, again, I don't think it sucks. I have a really good time with it, and that's why even to make it better, it's just pieces here. We're going to make little pieces. We're going to make it a little more horror-based instead of just, it's a thriller. They consider it a horror movie. It is considered a horror movie.
It's a horror adventure.
Right, it's a horror adventure just like Jaws. Jaws is an adventure film, drama and horror. So with something like this, you have the opportunity to figure out look at what Jaws did and just play with it with a fucking snake.
I agree. I agree with you. I like that, right? Because I enjoyed the movie. And I think, that if you just tweak it a little bit and don't be all up in our face and leave some suspense in your horror, I feel like that would have made it just that much better. You know what I mean? Like, I like that, man. I really do.
It's a creature feature, and I think one of the biggest issues with a lot of creature features are they're too busy showing the monster. It's always let's show the monster, show the monster, show the monster. It's better when you show suspense. And like you said, Ms. Bobby, you show the suspense. Build the monster. Now, when it comes, and the reason we go back to Jaws, because it's one of the best, if not the best creature features, it was a mistake for that to happen. We were supposed to see the shark immediately. And honestly, let's be real. It may not have been as good if we saw the shark from the beginning going, wow, that's a really big shark. It made it better because when he was throwing the chum and then the fucking shark comes up and you look and you go, oh, that's a big fucking shark. Like, yes, now the game has changed. The shit's about to get real. So, same situation, but with the snake. A lot of people, you'll have critics especially would be like, they're just trying to do what Jaws did. Yeah, because it fucking works.
Right. Jaws was wildly successful. Why would you not want to recreate that success?
We're not doing scene by scene like fucking Jaws. We're just not going to show the snake that fucking early. And then when we show the snake, it's going to mean something to where everybody's like, including you at the audience, going, oh, that's a big fucking snake.
Right.
We know anacondas are big. We know this, but not that big. So when you see that, it's eating people. Anacondas can't eat a person. That is a known fact. They cannot physically eat a human being. Not going to happen.
No, well, that's why they regurgitate them. It's too much.
It's way too big. But Eric Stoltz gets regurgitated. Holy shit, they killed Eric Stoltz. Because everyone would say that. Because they love Eric Stoltz. He should have been in Back to the Future, as we know. Oh my God, they killed Eric Stoltz. And then, bang, he fucking goes and gets fucking Owen Wilson.
Yeah, he gets murked.
Because the other thing, too, is after a snake eats, they don't eat right after.
No, they don't.
Can't.
They don't.
So the regurgitating makes sense.
Yeah, regurgitate makes sense because like if they are ingesting it, it takes a while for their body to
A
digest all of
long
that.
time.
Then they
Yes.
have to shit it out.
That's
Like,
right.
and then they're gonna eat. Like,
That's right. Then they'll eat again. So it can't be a back-to-back thing. But if he regurgitates it, it could be.
Right.
So that's how I'm changing that movie to make it much better. Like I said, we're going to be more focused with the puppets, a little bit more Jaws, a little more suspense. And like I said, we're killing Eric Stoltz. We're doing it. And we're going to make it fucking insane. We're going to have but we have to have fun. So comedy. I need more comedy in this movie.
Yeah. A little
That's
bit, a little
solid.
more
That's
comedy.
fair.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. That's great.
Thanks.
So not take it as serious as they would have liked, but still serious enough to be a true creature feature.
Yes.
And
Creature
believe it or
features
not,
should also be
show
fun.
less snake until
Yeah.
we need
Show
to see
less snake
Show less
until
snake.
it is time to release the snake.
And once
Release
you
the
release,
snake.
once you release the snake, then go to town. Now it's done. Just like in Jaws, once the shark is shown, it's over. Now you see in the
But
dorsal
build it.
fin, you're getting it all. We've already seen it. Now let's see more. Make them want more. So, like I said, you have the perfect opportunity. Like I said, don't change the cast, don't change the setting. Everything was done tip top. You don't even change the music. Music is fine too.
Yep.
Just give me a little more comedy. You know, it's creature feature. We got to have some more fun. Jaws is a funny movie. They do have a lot of scenes that are actually really funny. You know, play it off like that. And then once it gets going, though, get fucking going. And just tell John Voight back down just a little notch. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Just tone it down. Tone it down a little bit. Tone it
Just
down a little bit.
slight, because nobody talks like that.
No one talks like that. No.
He does.
And stop making a face like you're about to take a shit. Like, just,
It looks like he was constipated
like,
the whole movie.
dude, you're John Voight.
Maybe he was,
Just be
man.
John Voight.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe the direction from the director was just like, I need you to have like a mean mug. He's just like, I don't know what that means. That Ice Cube is like,
Ice
nah,
Cube.
man, mean mug, son, like this. Look. And he's just like, I don't know that. He goes, all right. You ever feel like you really had to take a shit?
Right now,
Right.
yeah.
While simultaneously also smelling like rotten eggs.
Yeah. But you can't because there's no toilet. You have to hold it, and then it keeps coming back up, and then coming back and gets stronger.
And then he starts
That's
making the face, and you see him like,
Amazing.
That's the face,
See,
that's the
just like
face.
that. Sound.
sound,
Action.
action. Right here. Just,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And they're just like, you know what? That's the best we're gonna get. We're gonna get this. Is the best.
The executive producer is just like, that's not it. That's the best we're getting.
This is
All
an
right.
Academy Award winner, guys. What he says goes.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
to think that they might have like played around with his faces, and that's just the best one that won it. Like
Yeah,
they might have shot a
definitely.
couple different scenes with him doing a different face, but it just didn't land.
But what
Yeah,
if
right.
John
And that's
Voight
the one
said?
that they're like, I guess we got to use that one.
What if John Voight made it clear, like, you know what? I'm doing this face, and they're like,
he made the conscious decision?
yeah, and they're just like, John, we need it to be a little bit more serious. And he goes, it's a movie about a fucking giant snake. I'm doing this face, and if you don't like it, I'm going to leave. And they're like, we can't let John Voight walk. We can't let him go.
All right, let him
we
do the
can't
face.
do
Let him do the
this.
face.
All right, fine, John, you can do the face. All right, what about the accent? John, that's not how they talk, John. I'm going to do the accent anyway. John, you're first off, you're not even Spanish. Keep in mind, so this is not working for you right now. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do the accent, John.
Yeah, right.
please, John. I know we've already paid you, but we really need you to focus up here. Yeah, I'm going to do the face and the accent. All right, fuck it.
Yeah. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Whatever.
And then Ice Cube's going to be like, since that motherfucker wants to do this, I'm going to say that's a big motherfucking snake. No,
Yeah.
Cube, you're not at that point yet. You're
Then
not
I'm
at that
gonna
point.
plug West Side Connection.
All right, fine. We'll let that slide. We'll let that one slide. Owen Wilson's like, can I say wow? No, we're giving away too much right now.
No, not now. We're getting off the rails.
You're not even
bitches.
at that point in your career yet, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Jesus.
J-Lo's like,
Oh,
can I show
man.
some booty? Yes, you could, J-Lo.
Actually,
Yes,
J-Lo,
you
yes,
could.
show all the booty.
Yes,
please.
you could. We're gonna give
have
you a
in the
nightstick.
water 90% of the time.
You're going to have a nightgown on, and we're going to see the
yeah.
top. So it's going to be great.
We're-
Love it. And then
we're
John
gonna
Voight's like,
see
I'm still
next.
doing that, by the way, just so you guys know. Doing the accent, doing the face. We know, John. We know.
John, I get it, bro.
We know, John. You're nailing it right now, John.
Yeah. Hey, not you. You're doing amazing, John. You're doing fantastic.
Yeah, we're.
Owen, get the fuck back down over there. What are you
I'm
doing?
gonna go throw blood on them right now. Yeah, John, I know that's part of the scene.
Yeah,
Is it real
no,
blood?
it's in-
No,
it's in
John, it's
there.
not real blood. It's corn syrup. You should get
Well,
real
what am I
blood.
gonna do with all this real monkey blood? It's fucking.
John,
I don't
did
even
you
want to
serious-
know how
John,
you
did
get
you-
that. But we
John, did you
might.
seriously just
Let's
do
just
that?
film this scene before they kick us the fuck out. Now.
It's a big fucking
They just
snake.
completely ignore the fact that he said real monkey blood, and they're like, the what now? Rolling.
Oh, never mind.
Start
Roll it.
rolling. John, put the face on. Excellent. Keep going.
Excellent. Keep going.
Keep going.
All right. We got to tone it down a little bit because we still got one more movie to talk about. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just still thinking about it. It's like all picturing in my head. It's fucking great. Florida's favorite creep. What movie would you make better?
So, you guys know I'm like one of the actual bad, scary movie like people. Like, I watch terrible movies because they're terrible, because I enjoy how terrible they are. They're funny. This was a challenge for me to find a movie that is bad, but not on the same vein as a terrible movie being bad for the sake of being bad. This movie was kind of trying to be serious, but eventually became a spoof. And I just found out it was supposed to be named something different until the leading role decided to change the name, and they just went with it. And I'm like, that's where everything was lost.
Yeah.
And that's Eight-Legged Freaks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Spiders.
This is a movie I remember watching when I was a kid and going, man, I'm terrified of spiders. This would be an awful situation. You know, don't like it. Freaky. As an adult, I'm like, this whole thing ain't right.
Yeah.
This whole thing ain't right.
Like nothing.
It shouldn't be as, remembered as it was in my brain. There's so much to say about this movie. I don't even know where to really start other than I'll just name the basic of if you took anybody in the cast can be replaced and it would still be the same movie. Nobody made these characters their own. Nobody made these characters so believable and loved that you're like, you cannot replace them. It would change the movie entirely, or it just wouldn't be the same. It would absolutely be the fucking same.
Yeah. Unless they put John Voight in it.
Unless they put Don Voight in it. He would make that, if he was the lead, I'm sure he would make that
Wow, can you imagine?
character
Or
his
if he was
own.
the cop.
It would,
And you keep the
Yes.
scar on his face.
If he was the
you
sheriff.
could keep the scar
yeah.
on his face.
The
You could make him the
Yeah.
mayor.
tarantula.
Like-
Mhm.
It's just one of those things. I'm like, I never noticed how terrible it was. And no offense to David Arquette, leading role. You could replace him with like a Ryan Gosling type. You could replace him with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh,
It
yeah.
would still be the same movie. He didn't make that character. And I found out that the name of this movie was supposed to be Iraq Attack, like
Oh my
Arachnid
God.
Attack.
Okay.
But David Arquette was like, nah, it doesn't really hit. What about Eight-Legged Freaks? And they just said, yeah, sure.
You know what? That's better. Honestly, it is better.
It is
than
better.
Iraq Attack.
It's way better
What the
than
fuck is
Iraq
that?
Attack.
It's definitely
Because
better.
Iraq Attack sounds like Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yes.
Whereas Eight-Legged Freaks sounds
Mars
like it
Attacks?
should be, I don't know, an alien movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they lost it on the spiders. And I want to talk about the opening scene because there's bits and pieces of this movie that have come from other movies. And I'm not quite sure why anyone said, yeah, let's do that, because none of it's original. Where have we seen a kid much younger than a character hang out with an old man?
A lot.
Plenty of times. Back to the Future.
Back to the Future, classic example. All right, but make it spiders?
In like
So
a
why is this
basement kinda
little
place?
kid so fascinated with a rundown spider farm? It was called a spider farm.
Mm-hmm.
And why is this old man so fascinated with spiders? It never talks about how the kid, and I think the old man's name was like Joshua.
Joshua, yeah.
We have no connection to Joshua whatsoever. we have no reason why he connects spider. He's not like, oh yeah, spiders are misunderstood and we're just trying to raise awareness. So like I house all these spiders because nobody else will. Nothing. He's just like, look at my spiders, child. And the kid's like, oh yeah, that's so
change
fascinating.
every day, so come back tomorrow.
Come back
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I hated the fact that the kid even says like, all right, Josh, I'll call you later. I'm like, why are you calling him later?
Yeah.
What connection do you have with Josh? In fact, the mom is even like, no, I don't want you hanging out with that creep. Stop going over there. You're grounded because you went over there. Why is he so obsessed with this guy and spiders in a weird shack? Like an all wooden shack. Almost like he just built a shed in the middle of the desert to house spiders. That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy as fuck.
That is horror, sure, but it's a different type of horror. It's more like a Black Phone type of horror where he's going to kidnap this child and like turn him into a spider experiment. But that doesn't happen either.
Then we get like Centipede, and then
yeah, you get like Human Centipede and some shit. And as we're flashing forward, it's all right. What makes the spiders scary? Toxic waste? But it doesn't specify what type of toxic waste or where it came from.
They just shoot to like the scene of them taking the barrel out the water.
Yes.
The barrel out of the water. And the reason the barrel fell was what, boys and girls? The driver of the truck carrying toxic waste, which isn't covered at all. It's just open barrels in the back of like a truck, like a little carrier truck with like the little wooden partitions that can easily break, swerved for a fucking rabbit.
Yeah.
It was a little bunny.
Rabbits. It was a
Why
little
the
bunny rabbit.
It was a bunny.
Do you guys see dead animals on the side of the road all the fucking time?
All
Traveling
the
the
time.
highway?
Yeah,
That's because the
I make
truck
it a
drivers
game.
are not going to fucking swerve for rabbits.
That's true.
And
Not for-
it's
no,
not
not
even
for
a
little
properly
bunny.
contained thing.
Especially when you're holding toxic waste.
Right? Like, it's such an unsecure and unbelievable truck. And it's like, well, we just needed something. And instead of making it like, you know, Joshua's a mad scientist who's been experimenting on spiders and he's like this weirdo out in the desert doing a thing, toxic waste. And then just to kill Joshua off with a pink-toed tarantula, which are one of the harmless fucking spiders.
That's
Like,
the irony of the movie.
People
Sabrina,
own
God.
them as pets. And I would love it to just be like, this is the irony of the movie and it's supposed to be a comedy spoof. But they took it way too seriously until they realized they couldn't and then turned it into a joke. And it's one of those of like, I need you to pick a lane. Is it serious or is it not? Because to make this movie better, I have a split decision to make. Do I want to make it satire and a spoof and funny where it's a horror comedy? Because if I do, it basically writes itself. It's beautiful. It's hilarious. Even the joke about like, oh, after the toxic spill, a week later. Oh, then it cuts over to the kid like hanging out with Josh and Josh, you know, dies from spiders, even though how did the spiders get out of their tanks? We don't fucking know.
They just got
Because
out.
One, the lid was open, so the tarantula came out, but the rest of them, how did they come out?
How did
Out
they
of
come out?
nowhere,
Unexplained,
as soon as
don't
he
know.
started biting, like the snake bit him. Then I don't know, all the snakes are just in the room, just
Spiders.
crawling around.
Spiders.
What
Spiders.
happened?
Spiders.
Yeah,
You're
all
still
the
on
spiders are
Anaconda.
just
Jump
out.
on anything yet? Like,
All the spiders are just out, and he's like showing him all the different types of spiders. And like, I appreciate that they're like, oh yeah, raise awareness of there's different types of spiders and different things they can do because that's really fucking cool, right? It is. It's nature. But the fact that it's like, you didn't even say it's like, here's the experiment. They just cut to something really unexplainable. And it's not good. So you could turn that into a complete spoof in itself. And then after Joshua dies, they go another week later. It's like,
They do another week later.
so it's
Yeah,
been
right? It just says
essentially
another
2
week
to
later.
3 weeks before the movie even fucking takes place.
That's right.
yeah,
Before the movie gets to movie.
another.
Why do I
week
need that
later.
timeline? I don't. Is it so we can wait for the spiders to get infected by that water supply and they
And
grow?
get bigger? Yeah,
And David Arquette needs to show up. He's on a bus.
And David Arquette needs time to get
he
back
was
to
on the
town
way. He was on
because
the way.
he was gone. He was gone.
Yeah.
He left town because he was afraid to tell someone about his feelings.
Yep.
That's the reason he left town.
I understand it. I get it. He did the same thing in Ready to Rumble, so it makes sense.
What is with David Arquette just running away from his feelings?
He does all the time. He does it in
To
Scream as
create
well.
dramatic
Yeah, all
times
the
in
time.
movies. Just run away from your feelings, including about spiders.
He loves them spiders.
It's
But we do have Dougie Doug in it, though. I was really
We
excited
do.
when
We
I
have
heard
Dougie Doug.
Sanka Coffee.
Doug.
I was like, Sanka Coffee's in this movie.
and I even feel like
He's just like narrating
his
shit.
his character, they failed him
Yeah.
because instead of just narrating stuff and talking about, the town and like he's got his own little radio deal. Instead of talking about that, he could have been the whole narrator for the movie, telling people a story
Yes.
over the
True.
radio.
That
Yeah,
is true.
he should have been
That
telling
would've
the
been cool.
story. That's all
He
he's
could have
doing.
been
I'm telling you
telling
the story.
the story on the radio. It could have been almost like an interview and like flashbacks and like, this heroic act. And he's the
Mhm.
one driving the story. But instead, it's like you had him there specifically so they could go to the radio station to tell everybody that giant spiders are attacking and to arm themselves.
That's right.
As the sheriff and the mayor are all just chilling there going, "But, I guess it's happening."
Yeah, there's some spiders out here.
Like-
yep.
So again, I can either take this and make it better by spoofing it even harder, or I can take this and make it better by actually making it a fucking horror film. And I chose the route of making it an actual horror film because
Okay.
it's already kind of spoofed.
Yep.
That's fine. To make it an actual horror film, you can take the tropes that they've already set up for you, because they set it up almost like a zombie movie mixed with like Starship Troopers.
Yep.
They
Yeah,
turned
that
it like
makes-
zombie tropes with Starship Trooper bugs, but they're all spiders. But they all do something different. You could take that and say, fuck that. Get rid of all the spiders, except for one. And it's not even a spider that is well known. It could be one of the tiny little jumping spiders, but not of this earth. You could turn it more alien-esque.
Mhm.
You could turn it into Joshua's experiment. In my brain, to make the movie better, Joshua plays a more crucial part. He's a weirdo in the desert experimenting with fucking spiders. He finds one spider. Yeah, he can have all the other ones, it's fine, but those aren't part of the plot. He has one spider specifically that he experiments with. And its venom is subject for not necessarily a zombie virus, but a type of toxin that erodes your organs and your brain. So it would latch onto the back of your neck. As we could see, it crawls on him like the tip-toed spider, the pink-toed spider, tarantula. And instead of biting him and being like, oh, now we cover him with web and we, inject him with venom and he dies, it's more like you are doing my bidding now type of alien-esque thing. So now you've got the people being controlled by a spider
Ooh.
that multiplies by laying its eggs inside of people's bodies. Much like the Thing, bodies are warm,
An
great for
alien.
incubation.
An alien.
Yep.
Right.
And then
Right.
just a bunch of eggs just inside of a body.
Bunch of eggs until all these spiders are released. And don't make them huge because that's easy to see. That's an easy target to kill with weapons. If you get tiny little spiders like this, like the size of your thumbnail, controlling people, where you can't see where they are, where you have that fear all around you of like, they could be anywhere at any moment and they're fucking with these people. It could be as easy to kill them as like smacking them off the back of your neck and waiting for the toxin to subside,
Yep.
finding a cure, anything. But without knowing that, you're just stuck there in a situation that's terrifying. So
like
imagine
that.
these little spiders everywhere.
Yeah.
And like if you go to smack a spider's egg sac, all the babies crawl out and scatter.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck finding them all. You're not going to fucking kill them all. They're out now. Imagine that situation, but in an entire human body.
Shit.
That's
That's
fucking
scary.
scary,
That's
right?
scary because people are scared. I mean, yeah, the big spiders people get scared of, but people are scared of the little tiny ones too. Like mostly, that's all you see around, right? Like
It's the fear of not
small
being able
ones-
to see them all.
Right. Imagine they're in my hair.
Yeah.
I can imagine them coming out of people's eyes, like if the eggs are laid in
Ooh.
somebody's body and they go to roll
Oh.
over a loved one in a bed, and all the spiders coming out of their eyes, their nose, their mouth, their ears,
Yo.
every body cavern,
Wow.
just like a bunch of spiders coming out of these, and they're all
Now
little
that's scary.
spiders.
Wow.
And they latch onto you. They're all over you. They latch onto the back of your fucking neck. And again, it's more like a zombie-esque type trope to be like, oh, well, there's something controlling them. Right. But that makes a realistic threat that is hard to kill unless you know how to stop it. Because in Eight-Legged Freaks, what was the way that they stopped them? It was the kid with the knowledge, right?
Always.
The kid with the knowledge that hung out with the weirdo and learned all of it. So that was the only reason Josh was alive, was because this kid was learning about spiders from him.
Right.
So what was the
Sure,
point
that
of
makes
that?
sense.
The kid with knowledge, and then them arming themselves with regular fucking everyday items to use as weapons.
And they're just
Luring
like,
the
going to
spiders
town.
into a, like, just another classic zombie trope. They go to a fucking mall.
It's true.
Why? You didn't need to. Because you just lured all the spiders away from the mall and away from the town into the mine to blow up the mine.
Yeah.
You could still do that, but with people infected by a spider,
Sure. Oh, that'd be dope.
you could close off a mine so they're still living in the mines, but there's no way for them to get out.
Mm-hmm.
Then it
Now you
creates
get
for a
moral
sequel
conflict.
of,
Yeah.
hey, those people are trapped in there. We can't let them out. Sequel. What about all the families that lost their loved ones in the mine? Creates more conflict. Creates a sequel of like somebody escaped from the mines. It's a whole thing. Like to make it horror, I would just shrink down the spiders, not have all the different types. I would have one crazy one, and I would replace the entire fucking cast.
The entire cast is getting changed.
The entire cast.
The entire cast.
Okay.
Like, I would probably pick a whole new cast just so it's memorable to everybody. I mean, I probably wouldn't replace the kids because the kids can do whatever they need to do. It like the main kid, like the son who was hanging out with Josh, you could replace him with like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
Still the same. ScarJo, love her, but I mean, she was 18, kind of making a debut in certain movies, and it, you know, she is the typical teenager, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be her.
Right.
But
Makes
you can
sense.
keep the kids the same just because you could replace them with any kid. It's still the same movie. But the adults, I would like horror icons. Who did we say the mother of horror was? Rose Byrne?
Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne.
You could have Rose Byrne protecting the fuck out of her kids from these little spiders.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I
1000%.
don't think Rose Byrne was doing her thing back then. But,
She wasn't.
yeah.
There are a lot of people that I would choose that could not realistically do this movie because they were
Yeah.
either children themselves or they weren't in the industry.
But
And
that
it's-
doesn't matter. We're still pretty
That's still
pristine.
fair. I
right.
definitely
but
have
if I
Rose
am doing
Byrne
this
there.
movie tomorrow,
Rose Byrne.
I have a great cast that I can choose from
and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
and a whole new premise.
Maggie Gyllenhaal's the sheriff.
Mhm.
Maggie Gyllenhaal
Oh,
could be
oh.
the sheriff.
Chip Chilios. He's
Chip
David Arquette.
Chelios. Chip Chelios.
He's David Arquette. Yeah.
Listen, you could pick any
Chip Chelios.
any good-looking Hollywood guy to play the lead because again, I
Rock.
feel like you could pick The,
The
Rock,
Rock could
honestly.
do it.
Because I feel like what was his name in the movie? I think it was David or something. He offered nothing. He came back to town to just fuck around and find out after running away from his feelings, and then got involved in like, oh, well, this little kid knows about bugs.
Somebody
He
be friends
didn't
with him.
save the day. The mines were already there. He came back to the mines. I guess it was his family that owned it, and he's like, we're not selling the mines because he's trying to find gold in there or whatever. And it's like, again, if you didn't come back, that wouldn't matter. Why did
Yeah,
he
it
come
would-
back?
nothing-
Why was
that
he
would never
there?
change.
There was no reason.
He
Yeah,
wanted to
makes
give
sense.
flowers to the sheriff.
He wanted to give flowers to the sheriff and see if he could hit it.
Yeah, he didn't hit it though.
He didn't.
I think Dougie Doug has a better chance.
100% he has a better chance.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah,
Who you're replacing Dougie Doug with? Are you keeping him?
Dougie Doug.
I would keep him.
He has to stay. He's
I
got
would
the
keep
voice.
him.
Stay.
He doesn't. I would just revamp his role. I would give him more of a narration role,
Mhm.
Yep.
telling the story of what happened. I would not throw him to the side as a throwaway character to be like, yeah, well, you on the radio station, we need it. So just talk a bunch and then we'll come and find you when we need you for plot. It's like, no. Give him the crucial part of telling the whole damn story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
I think the kid should be like Dusty from Stranger Things.
Oh, what is it, Gayton?
Yes.
Gaten
Yeah,
Matano.
absolutely. You could
That's a good
see
one.
that's a better fit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Of course, he wasn't probably even born.
He wasn't
when this
born.
movie came
No,
out.
he
But
wasn't
you
born.
know,
Nope.
again, this is taking it as like, if I'm revamping this movie tomorrow, I would have a way better cast to choose from and a way better premise.
I
And
like
Gaten
that.
is going to be my child.
Yeah,
I like that.
He's
I
going to
think
be
that's really
he's going to be
I
the
like
lead.
it. I say you definitely do it more scary, and you don't need these damn spiders to be really, really big.
If I want really, really big bugs where we fight them and win, I'm just going to watch Starship Troopers.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my
Yeah.
part.
Yeah, I
This
like,
movie
I
didn't
like
do
that.
fucking shit.
No, I like that. I like that.
We're Rico's Roughnecks.
Because you could go both ways with this movie. You know, you could keep it where you could make it a horror movie because now you got all those people like arachnophobia and all that type of shit that really is
Right.
going to fuck with them. And then you have the comedy side of things, like how I kind of went with like Anaconda, where it's like I could go a comedy route with it. I feel that kind of movie would be more fun as a comedy route with it. But
Right.
keeping it horror, this can go both ways. You know, you can't take Anaconda and go too deep because it's like, it's too serious right now. But you can
Right.
do it. They did it with arachnophobia.
They did. They absolutely
They did.
did. And again, if I wanted to make this better on the spoof side, you really lean into the funny. Like, there's one scene specifically that I remembered watching from since I was a kid that made me appreciate the movie is when everyone's in the diner and you see the jumping spiders just coming at them.
Yeah.
And you see one jump on the glass, kill itself
Yeah.
because it hit the glass, and just slide down like nothing fucking happened. It's like, the
I like when it talks, though.
Effect.
I like when they talk to each other when it's like, and you're like,
you could even
"They're
have that
speaking.
Shit.
further in the
Like,
spoof.
all right, they're talking. All right.
You could play
Yeah,
that off
talking.
and it's like
In the spoofs,
a
you put
kid can
captions on the
understand
bottom.
them.
No, you put captions on the bottom so we
Yeah.
read what they're saying.
Yeah. Give me
You want a jelly
subtitles of what those
donut?
fucking spiders are saying.
I would like a jelly donut. Did they?
Yeah.
The spiders
maybe
want a
that guy in
jelly
the car?
Yeah, I wonder if he tastes like that. Yeah.
That guy in the car eating the jelly donuts.
Let's get him.
Let's get him.
Get 'em.
Let's go get him. Okay.
I want to
All
see,
right.
and even on the spoof side, when the jumping spiders are coming at the guys on the motocross bikes, I want to see a spider ride a motocross bike.
Definitely.
I want
Yeah.
to see it jump on
1000%.
him, throw him off,
It
and
has
just
eight,
ride the
legs. He could do
It
it.
does.
While chasing the guy, Brett, whatever his name was.
Yes.
Just like,
Yeah.
and he
While
turns
chasing
around
Brett.
and it's like, and it waves and it's like it's
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
as the other spiders are jumping with him and it's just, and you're like, oh my God. The fucking thing's driving a fucking motorcycle.
This is ridiculous. I love it.
Because at one point, if you saw a giant fucking spider riding a motocross bike, you're going, holy shit, what the fuck is that? And then on the other frame, you're laughing your
You're
ass
laughing-
off.
laughing
Because
very
what is
hard.
that?
Very, very. I'm laughing my ass off on that one, especially if it waves and stuff. Like, hey.
Right. Like, imagine you're driving down the fucking Arizona desert road. You're just chilling, minding your own business. Up on your right, passing as fast as possible, you just see a fucking giant spider riding a motocross bike with a little gang
Hilarious.
behind it. Like, what are you fucking doing in that situation? You're
So good.
stopping
I
for
feel-
a minute. You're pulling over and going, what the fuck did I just see?
I feel that's
and then
the
you're
moment.
going to laugh about it.
That's the moment where you have the truck driver driving with the toxic waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just driving
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, is that a fucking
Huh?
whoa? Then he's like, yeah, he crashes because
See, that would
spider.
make more sense than he swerved for a rabbit
For a
because
bunny.
he was tired.
Yes, he was very
It
tired.
happens. It happens.
Not enough coffee.
Not
Yeah,
enough
what
coffee.
what did he say about
Speaking of coffee,
Hey, keep
broadcast?
talking.
He was like,
Keep talking.
"Oh, keep talking. I hope you say words with caffeine in it."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?
Who wrote
What?
this?
What
words
is
with
that?"
caffeine
Who's
in it?
writing this?
What is that?
Who's writing this shit?
You
Like,
know what?
the
I'm
whole
out.
thing.
But the movie just started.
You know what?
Exactly.
I'm
You
good
need
now.
to change like that entire opening scene just to make it like palatable,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then you have to change the entire fucking movie if you want it to be horror.
Actually good.
It's like even halfway decent.
Because it was entertaining. Like
It's
I
entertaining,
was
yes.
entertained, but it wasn't good.
It is a spoof. It definitely knew what it was by the end of the movie. At the beginning,
yeah.
I don't think they had any fucking clue what they wanted to do with it.
Mm-mm. Not at
No.
all.
No.
You
They
could take out
definitely
the
didn't know what they
whole thing
wanted
with
to do.
Joshua and still have it a thing. You don't need the kid to show up and know all this information about how to kill spiders. He could
No.
study spiders by him fucking self in his room.
Yes.
Going like, oh yeah, he's got like he could even be on the autism spectrum where he is obsessed with spiders
Mm-hmm.
and wants, to learn more about them. doesn't mean he's going to be friends with the weird guy out in the desert that just has a spider farm.
And like a pedophile kind of looking guy.
You could have taken a different route here, because you could have had it where it was like Ernest scared stupid, like Ernest was like the doofy guy in the town, and the kids loved him because he was like a kid himself, and that should have been David Arquette's character. He's Ernest. And, the kid's like, oh, yeah, I love spiders. And I don't like spiders. Spiders scare me. And then, you could go and play it off, or he has to save the day. And Ernest is here. They should do Ernest again. And they should, Eight-Legged Freaks with Ernest.
Yeah. Ernest with Eight-Legged Freaks. That
would be great. Ernest Scared Stupid was great. It was fantastic. Yeah. Ernest Scared Stupid is one of my favorite ones that he's done. So, and it's the same movie. It's just a trope.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same movie.
You can easily make that a spider.
Easily. And it would work.
Easy.
And John Cena already looks like Ernest, so put his ass in there.
Put John Cena in.
Put John Cena in this
Another
movie.
great recast.
John Cena in the. I would like, because Cena could be goofy, he could be funny, he could be serious because he's a bigger dude.
He can punch a fucking spider.
He could punch a spider, and the mayor could be fucking Jason Statham. He'll kick a spider, and then
100%.
Yeah, that's I like that route.
I think Danny DeVito needs to be in this movie too.
Yes, he works well. I
feel like we're just getting into Mars Attacks, but with spiders, and
exactly.
I'm here for it.
It's a very good way to go.
It's still an upgrade.
Yeah.
On the smooth side of things, make it Mars Attacks, but with spiders.
Yeah. Spiders attack.
So does that mean a spider?
You mean a rack attack?
A rack attack.
See, there we go back to a rack
attack. The name works.
Does that mean that a spider is going to transform into a really kind of hot chick, and then?
Yes.
With a bunch of eyes, though.
But instead of gum, she's got the eyes, so she wears sunglasses over them, like the big old Hollywood starlet sunglasses.
Very good, very good.
And if she smiles, her little spider mandibles come out.
Very good, very good. And it should be played by Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, ScarJo.
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson.
Black Widow ScarJo.
Yes. Oh, and she's Black Widow too. Yeah, she got the red hair and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she got the red hair.
She could be a Black Widow that transforms.
Oh, that's good too.
A lady.
I like that one. And then it's like it's the little poke at it where it's like, hey, that's Scarlett Johansson and she's Black Widow, and look, she's the Black Widow spider.
Look, she's the Black Widow spider.
Yes, I like
Can you imagine she
get
transforms into like a really it's ScarJo, so she's a sexy lady with like the black dress, and she's got like the red line going down the back of the dress, and she's just kind of like slowly sauntering like a Mars Attacks alien, and then she takes off the sunglasses, multiple eyes, and she's got the little mandibles, and
very good.
Eats a fucking guy's head off.
All for it. That sounds fantastic. All for that. I love it. That's great.
See, whether it's horror or spoof side, this movie can go either way.
That's fantastic.
But it's still better than what it was.
I fucking love it.
That is the route you take. John Cena is Ernest. You have Jason Statham as the mayor. ScarJo is the black fucking widow that turns into a human with the black tight dress. Yeah, it's great. Red slip in the back. Yep. Very good. Very good.
I'm aroused. I am aroused.
So that movie is going to be a rack attack.
That's a rack attack.
That's
the
a
horror
rack attack.
film is still going to be called Eight-Legged Freaks.
Yep.
But it's going to be in like the malignant red type of font.
Yeah, very good. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I like that.
I love that. And then have the little spider coming down with the little spider web. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Into the eye.
Into the eye.
Things in eyes are always fucking fucked up.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, that was fantastic. I love that. The bell's about to ring. But we've got 3 movies in there that I believe made better. You know what I mean? Or at least, a little different and just like tweaks, but I fucking love it. I love it. We have more New York, we have less snakes, and we have John Cena punching a spider. And I love them all. All right, but so let's say our goodbyes before this bell rings, and let's say our adieus. Let's start with with Night School Horror's favorite creep. We're going with Sabrina.
I absolutely love revamping horror movies, and I feel like again maybe we need to be on some sort of creative writing board and send this shit off to Hollywood, because they're definitely running out of ideas, and we just came up with 3 really freaking good ideas.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for what all we have in store and things to come, and I'm super excited to plan more cons with you guys and get everybody else. And I know we actually had a couple people from MegaCon that we definitely want to get on the show, so we we definitely got to be reaching out to them and get them on because they had some great points to talk about.
Yes.
Oh,
But
yeah.
until then, keep up with the socials and we'll get more enrollees and get everyone on board and distill more horror knowledge upon everyone. So stay
Oh, yeah.
creepy.
And nice. I love that. You're absolutely right. We need to get some of our new enrollees on, in class, really. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know if they want to start next semester, but honestly, come whenever you want, people. Just reach out to us and make sure you get put on this attendance card because we won't let you in.
That's right.
Smooth Effect.
Yeah, no, I agree. I had a great time at MegaCon. We gave out a lot of student badges, so they know. We told them, listen, you can only come on if you have your student badge. You can't get in the building without it. So I'm very excited to see where we can go with that, get our new enrollees on with us. And I definitely want to do this. I'm going to plan ahead, and I'm going to throw it out there that we are going to do an episode where it's going to be after dark, and we're going to talk about some sexy things. So the young lady and her friend that was at the panel at MegaCon, if you are listening right now, please contact us because we need to hear how you are going to do Pennywise.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there for all the people that are like, what the fuck are these? No. We're going to go.
Recording of Pennywise.
We're going to go after dark and you will get the details because after dark is always detailed. That shit was really funny. I remember laughing my ass off at the panel when I heard that.
It was great.
So that is a must come on. Please contact us. Let us know you want to come on for that one. Bring your student badge because it's going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. Definitely in this semester, we are going after dark. But my name is Tommy James, aka Mr. So Smooth, aka the smooth effect himself, the movie guy, baby. And I'll see you next week.
All right. Yes, we are going to do that. A nice midnight class, if you will. We will get you on and we would get down and dirty with just consensual.
Talking sex
But,
ed.
we talking thick. But yeah, no, this has been fun. The panel was amazing. Again, thank you everyone who participated and stood and talked to us and stood afterwards and enrolled. The champ had a great time in Florida. It was a short-lived stint, but I guarantee you I'll be there again soon. Yes, please enroll, like, subscribe, interact with us, and keep listening, people, because we have made some traction and it's all because of you listening. So if you want to come on, if you want to keep listening, keep sharing, please do it all. We're available on all socials and anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's Mr. Malave, aka Matthew Malave, aka the longest reigning Who You Got champion. And until next class, I'll see you soon. Stay spooky.